So a lot of that scoring does fall upon Gardner to kind of pick that pace up for him.
Opening tip-off here, game 2 of 8 more today here on the Consolation side of things as Gardner, 7 points, 4 assists per game. Gives it left side to Daw. Deflection and nearly saved in by Avery Backus. Good hands from her early.
She got up in that denial. As the ball rotated over to the wing, she slipped straight up in denying that back pass. Good job by Backus.
Ball comes into Gardner, goes over on it right side to Hale. She'll dribble with the right hand. Hand back right side to Gallardo. She'll dribble with the left hand, come off the high screen. Gives it inside to Hale, now back to Gallardo, and she drug that foot. That's a walk. It goes back to Summit Academy.
It's interesting. You know, tournaments have their feels and their vibes. I've seen more travels called in this tournament than all year.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, we've seen a lot over the last 24 hours.
So Judge is going to come into a 1-2-2 half-court trap. They'll trap that above the half-court line and behind it.
Turnover going the other way. Gallardo coast to coast, like butter on toast with the left-hand finish, and that makes it 2-0 in favor of Judge Memorial.
And we've got an Aljoke on the top of that. That's some good length, able to guide it into the trap.
Pump fake and drive here. Nice little right-handed runner. That doesn't go from Avery Backus, and back the other way comes Judge Memorial.
That trap speeding him up and just took a shot that was just a little quicker than she was comfortable with.
Daw, 3, nearly banks it in, and the rebound comes down to Holmes. Backus, good look up ahead, nice pass. Finish not there, inside for Sierra Johnson, a little trapped underneath the hoop, and the ball's deflected out of bounds on the rebound, stays with the Bears.
Summit Academy doing a nice job getting over the top of that trap. The breaks aren't being set, and they've had 2 decent looks.
Well, they went against the best press in 3A yesterday in Grantsville. So
and it's the same 1-2-2 set. Is definitely not the same press.
Right.
But it's the same set. So
Same
they
concept,
have practiced against that. That's a good call right there, Tanner. Is they have put time against that. And interesting by Coach Pike to come with the same press there, knowing it is a different feel, but he knows that they got 26 turnovers. So trying to see what he can get out of it.
And Summit Academy did break that. Keep in mind, Grantsville did that for 3 quarters, and there were times Summit Academy broke it well. Other times Grantsville did what they've done to other teams all year. Is Backus gets the steal. Now in transition, draws the foul. They're going to say on the ground, so our first foul of the game, and it'll come side out of bounds for Summit Academy.
You can see Avery anticipates very well. That's the second pass that she's stolen. She slips up. That time she anticipated and jumped out. She wasn't in denial, but nice anticipation by Avery.
Backus gives middle, and a nice block shot from Aneljoke, and away we go for Judge Memorial.
They stayed in their disciplined gaps there as that 1-4 high had a little action, but they didn't run off of it. Stayed in position, able to steal that.
Hale with the basketball, going to give right side to Aneljoke. Right hand dribble, now swings to Daw left side. Daw pump fakes, going to swing back up top.
Judge running the flex offense there.
High runner, no, gets her own rebound. And Alicia will bring it back out. Daw thinks about the 3, now gives it right side to Gardner. She'll pump fake, send back to Daw. Daw's 3 left side, off the rim, no. Offensive rebound and stickbacks, no good. And another offensive board, extra possession for Judge. Aneljoke gives it over left side to Gardner. Gardner will call out a new play here with 5:34 to go in the opening period. Ball goes left side to Hale. She'll skip right side. 15-foot jumper, long. Offensive rebound, Hale, no. And the rebound comes down inside, and Georgeson comes away with it.
Judge doing an excellent job on the offensive boards, able to give themselves a couple different opportunities, using that flex option to got some good shots.
3-point shot on the way right side is good. A good look from Keita Holmes, and Summit Academy is on the board at 3-2. She does shoot it at 34% from downtown.
That's as soon as she caught Coach was like, shoot that, baby. You knew she was a shooter. When you get a response like that, he had all the confidence in the world in her.
How about this, 86% at the free throw line. 86 on a good amount of attempts.
Awesome. I'll tell you, Backus is doing an excellent job. That time peeling it off the dribble. She can steal it every way.
Ball ends up on the floor. Johnson picks up and banks it in. Georgeson with that one.
A good strength. She was able to pick that up off the Judge. Had dove on the ball. Just picked it up out of her hands and used the backboard. Good angle.
5-0 run by Summit Academy. Those good vibes from last night paying off here today as the foul now called on the Bears. It'll be their first here in the quarter.
Yeah, you love to see that resiliency is coming back to this game after getting worked over pretty good. Just ready to get back in the competition and get after it. Love to see that.
Jazzy Zenner, the sophomore, checks in for Judge Memorial. So baseline out of bounds here for Gardner. Gardner gives you 4 assists a game as that point guard. Looking to trigger in, had Daw, and just 1 second too late, a 5-second call. Southern Academy forces the turnover.
Their action got just delayed twice there, and you could see her starting to look, but nobody gave her a safety valve, and that's actually why the other one came open, but without a safety valve, she couldn't kick it out.
Backus with the basketball, sends it over in the corner. Now back to Backus, swings up, Holmes is open, right wing 3, good again. Keita Holmes with her second triple.
Judge slipping into a 2-3 zone, Keita over there in that wing slot area, and it's hurting that zone.
Timeout to Coach Pike and the Bulldogs. We'll take it on TeamHive.live, ETV, and KSLSports.com.
For more than 3 decades, the Intermountain Power Project has served as a model of regional energy cooperation, generating and transmitting coal-fueled electricity to a diverse group of municipal utilities and rural electric cooperatives with operations across 6 U.S. states. Now Intermountain Power is expanding its role as a regional energy hub, including utilizing renewable energy resources. Intermountain Power is proud to support and invest in our central Utah communities. Visit IPAUtah.com to learn more about IPP Renewed.
Live high school sports action on Centracom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Turned them over 4 times.
That's right.
And so those all feed off of each other, and I love it when a team knows defense creates offense. And by her ability to turn them over, of course she's got teammates helping her.
Yeah.
But with those turnovers, they've just done a nice job on the other end, and the ball's moved well like you described.
Going to be interesting to see those assisted turnover numbers at halftime from Brad James. We get breaks in between. Brad does not. He's on game 10.
He is a machine. We sure appreciate everything he does.
Screen high for Daw. Gets in the paint, has it stripped, but a foul. Let's see if they think they're going to give this to Flores, and they do.
Yeah, she just kind of stabbed at the ball there. Official decided that was enough. You can see on the replay, she just swiped at it and knocked it out of Daw's hands.
Baseline out of bounds here for Gardner. Pounds the rock, looking to send in. Sends right side to Daw, trying to get that into Aneljoke. And now back up top for Zenner. Zenner just a sophomore. Back out to Gallardo. 3, no. Rebound comes down inside from Backus. Smallest girl on the floor most of the time as she nearly turns it over there. Good handles from Gardner. And now Summit Academy is going to take a timeout as we're about 2 seconds away from that. We'll keep it here, Dustin. Really love Backus's game. 5 rebounds a game. She's usually the smallest gal on the floor. Just has the heart of a lion out there.
And she knows, she has a feeling for the ball. You can see in the way that she stole the ball off of a denial pass. She did it off of anticipation. She did it off of the dribble. And then you just saw that rebounding that you're talking about. She can see that ball and knows where it's going. And she can slip in there, undersized. She can slip out and around, quickly grab it. Good hands. Fun ball player to watch. Like what Judge did right there. They were able to swarm the ball and get that to where it was close to that 10-second count. Force them to use a timeout, and they got Summit Academy out of control. But excellent job by Coach, knowing the 10-second call. He didn't want to lose that possession, and he also needed to settle his girls down because Judge has sped him up.
So it'll be side out of bounds for Summit Academy coming out of the timeout. 3:33 to go in this first quarter. A couple of threes from Keita Holmes, and then a basket inside from Reagan Georgeson. That's the thing. Backus has been the most impactful player, hasn't scored yet.
And
love that.
Yes, that is the good stuff. Judge is going to go back to that 2-3 zone where Holmes has been able to knock down those 2 threes, and she's going to see if she can get the catch.
They go down inside. Johnson pumps and going to get a tie-up. Possession. Arrow's going to stay with Summit Academy here.
Really nice job by Zenner. Just going with 2 hands, suck into it, and get that half possession.
Baseline out of bounds here for Backus.
Judge will stay 2-3 zone, butts to the ball so they can see everybody coming down to him.
Sends it back deep to Holmes. She'll skip right side to Flores. Flores now sends corner. Johnson. Bounce pass deflected by Daw. Length of Judge starting to play a little bit of an impact here.
And they weren't hitting into those gaps. They're standing, moving that ball against the zone.
Tough shot inside, deflected out of bounds. It'll go back to the Bears.
When you've got to have the quick passing to beat a zone, but there has to be movement. First you have to make the zone move, and then you have to hit into the holes. And that last possession, that didn't happen. Earlier on, some of the counties been able to find those holes pretty easy, and a lot of it out of just the first couple passes. See how they go here as they're going to stay in that 2-3.
Sequoia Lopez is checked in. Quick three out of the corner from Holmes. That's no good. Lopez loses it out of bounds on the rebound. It'll stay with Summit Academy.
So their little adjustment there, they slipped Holmes down on the short corner and just popped her out, and she was ready to catch and shoot.
Holmes will be the trigger gal on the baseline here.
Working out of that box set, you can see on that baseline out of bounds goes the 2-3.
Backus, right-hand dribble, gets into the paint. Little runner for two, blocked by Aneljac, and she's just going to take it coast to coast. No good. Offensive rebound, stick back is off. And Aneljac was not established, and that's still out of bounds.
Yeah, she jumped herself back in, and she was this good hustle. Good hustle, but the ball just landed in her hands. Yeah. She was out of bounds.
Wrong place, wrong time.
That's right.
Still 8-2 for Summit Academy here. Ball goes right side, and just not a good pass or catch. Flores loses it out of bounds to Judge Memorial.
This zone is starting to match up a little bit, and the lack of movement by Summit Academy is causing them turnovers here later in the first quarter.
Ball goes over on the right side to Gallardo. She'll come off the screen. 15-foot jumper from the lefty. High arc. It's short. Good box out inside from Flores, and it comes down to Backus.
Good, yeah, like I said, good teamwork to get that rebound, and then Gardner trying to get it. But Backus is just so good with the ball, able to handle it up, handle Gardner riding her, overdoing it.
Yeah, Gardner's going to pick up the personal foul. Her first. Both teams even at 2 fouls apiece with 2:11 to go in the first. Judge kind of in this 2-3. They go middle. Now back inside to Johnson. Ball's loose again. Another turnover as Gardner goes the other way now.
Aneljac just causing a lot of deflection. She dives on the floor well. Just really disrupting that offense.
Good pass baseline. Left-hand finish for two by Gallardo, and that makes it 8-4.
The flex screen set by Lopez made that happen. She came down. Finally, they get that flex screen to work. Got a little curl off of it.
Ball bounces over on the left side to Backus. Right-hand dribble high. Minute 30 to go. Still 8-4. That ends an 8-0 run. Deep three. Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm no Sherlock, but I'm not leaving Keita Holmes open for the rest of the game.
And the adjustment by Coach right there, he went to a 1-4 high, which pulled the two guards in, and the forward didn't come out on that zone, and that's why she was open like that. It was a nice counter to beat that zone. Sucking those guards in, the forwards didn't identify what was going on because they had been sitting home the last couple possessions.
Going to be out of bounds. I thought there was a foul call, but no official came over to give any numbers, so just out of bounds. Judge retains possession here.
5 second. Whoa.
Very close, very close. Oh, no, they did end up giving a foul as the step-back jumper is good. That's a 2 from Gardner. So they do call a foul on Holmes. So Keita's got 1. She's also hit 3 threes and has 9 of the 11 for Summit. Flores with it, right side, back up to Backus. Backus looks to spin out of it. Good left-hand dribble. Now back up to Georgerson, and she just overthrows her target out of bounds. Goes back to Judge Memorial.
I like how Greg called that yesterday a zone force turnover. You know, a lot of times you're looking to skip over the zone. That wasn't a full skip, but it was the same concept. Just a high pass that hit the gate system over the fence.
Gardner gives up top to Lopez. She'll think about the 3 for a moment. Now gives Aneljac, hesitate dribble, gets inside, spins, little shot for 2, no. Ball tapped in the air. Good bounce pass inside to Lopez. Here, high arcer's good for 2. Not often you don't see the backboard used in that angle, but it goes in and it's 11-8. Summit still by 3.
Able to get that one knocked down. See what Summit Academy gets here with 20 seconds left.
Shot clock is off. Flores looks to come back out, goes behind the dribble. Now Backus, free throw line extended, pumps, sends back out. One more pass to Holmes. The 3's on the way, and that's her 4th triple. Keita Holmes.
She has put some time in on a catch and shoot. It looks good. Man, that was a pretty shot.
Now a foul out front on Backus as Coach Archuleta points to the clock saying, what are we doing? Unfortunately, it's not going to be free throws. as that's the 4th team foul. So that's her first. Backus did foul out of the game yesterday.
Oh, and the way she plays, foul trouble is definitely a part of her game. She has to be aware of because she's so good. She's going to get some fouls.
Ball goes middle, little long shot. No, that's a little long. It was a long shot. That ends quarter number 1. Summit Academy 14, Judge Memorial 8. Second quarter action next on TeamHive.live, ETV, and KSLSports.com.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Bark is an app that helps families manage every aspect of their children's digital lives. Worried about your 12-year-old stumbling upon something harmful or inappropriate? With Bark, you can block sites and apps. Bark runs in the background, scanning your child's digital activities, and sends you an alert if it detects something you need to know about. While there are lots of options out there, Bark's approach to online safety is one of a kind. You've got this, and Bark's got your back.
Get Bark protection today from Centricom on unlimited family devices. Visit Centricom.com to learn more.
Live high school sports action on Centricom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Sevier Valley Center. Just, I know you're not a massive NBA guy like I am, but last night at the Jazz game, Mehmet Okur, the money man, was in attendance. They had 2,000s night, so you had Darren Williams, Carlos Boozer, Andre Kirilenko, Mehmet Okur all in the building. Keita Holmes having a Mehmet Okur type game out from the three-point line.
Right. She sure is.
It's been fun to watch.
Yeah.
Hit 4 threes. She's got 12 of the 14. Last 12 points for Summit Academy. As Judge trails this thing by 6. Back up top, left-handed threes up, and a good-looking stroke from Alicia Gallardo.
Love the inside out. Got into the drop zone, did anal joke, and then able to kick out after she was coming in behind. So good off-ball movement and good inside-out awareness.
Backus going to go right side. It's seeing Judge's zone a little bit higher up here.
Keita moved over to the left side. We haven't seen her much over there.
A nice drive here from Backus. And that's going to be a foul on Analjoke. So they're going to call this shooting first on Analjoke, and that will send Backus to the free throw line, 62% for the lefty. You'd never guess she's a lefty, though, the way she handles the ball. Very good with both hands.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Even taking a few right-handed floaters as she connects on the first of 2.
Analjoke had to sit a lot yesterday with foul trouble. See if she can keep herself out of foul trouble here as she picks up the 1, so she's fine. She's below the amount in the quarter. No big deal.
And the rebound to Analjoke off the miss. 15-11, Summit Academy leads. Gardner with the basketball, gives left side to Analjoke.
Come off the pin down there. She comes.
Comes back up to Haley. Now 3-point shot off the right wing. No good. Analjoke taps that right to herself and is able to draw the foul. The athleticism of Esther.
You watch that flex offense working. Analjoke came down and set the pin down for that catch and shoot. And because of that, she was on the left side, but she's aware enough that the ball's going up. She gets herself over to the right side, able to get that offensive rebound, put it back up and in. So the offense, you always want to build your offense to provide you offensive rebounding opportunities. And that one right there, that pin down screen puts you in position if they're going to shoot that jumper off of it to be able to get that offensive rebound. Nice job by Analjoke to take advantage of that.
This is the first. One more for Esther. Shots up and down. 15-12. Had a bit of a free throw contest here early in this second quarter. Top of the key now is Flores. She'll pump, go right side to Backus. Backus holds high, left-hand dribble, skips it over, sends it in the corner. Holmes, corner 3, not from where she was hitting the other ones, misses it. Rebound comes down to Lopez.
It's interesting. On the second quarter, they've moved her over to the left side. She was having a party on the right side. Curious to watch how that changes.
Left-hand drive from Gallardos is no good. The putback from Esther's no good. Offensive rebound then thrown out of bounds. And they're going to say it stays with Judge Memorial here.
Judge just crashing the offensive glass. Hallie right there doing a nice job, giving him another opportunity. Al Joke, of course, giving him another one. Some of the academies came out in the start of the game, really boxing out well, and they really holding them one and done. And right now here in the second quarter, that's changing.
Ball goes right side, Lopez. Pump fakes, gives left side to Anil Joke. Esther with the drive, the block shot. Good defense inside from Georgeson. A little bit of help from Holmes as well.
Yeah, good help side defense coming there as she went hard off of it.
Right wing three, that's no good by Flores. Rebound comes down. Transition opportunity as Anil Joke gets it ahead to Zenner. Zenner can't make the point blank layup, gets her own rebound. Back to Anil Joke, who lays it in.
That was an awesome job to get that ball back. It was in Summit Academy's hands, but another offensive rebound for Judge, and that's closing the gap here on the Bears.
Deep three from Holmes, good again. This time on the left side from that same angle.
She has it catch and shoot down. It is fun to watch.
Might need to wipe my glasses and see if Hallie Janes is suiting up for Summit Academy the way she shot it yesterday.
That's right.
Foul inside here on Summit Academy. It's going to lead to 2 shots. 18-13 our score. So we'll get 2 shots here for Gardner, who shoots it at 77% at the line. That's who you want shooting free throws if you're Judge Memorial.
Absolutely. She's got a great touch. Good soft. You'll see it lift up here. Just drops in.
Front of the rim, back of the rim, and in. So 18-14 our score. Daw is going to return. And Sydney Orm, a freshman, who played pretty well yesterday against Grantsville, will get some run time here.
Holmes, that's been carrying the scoring load, is going to take a break, but you've got to give her teammates credit because she's getting that by catching and shooting. Her teammates are getting her the ball on target in time.
Both free throws drop, 18-15, 5:25 to play here in the second quarter. Ball fake out front from Flores, left side Backus. Flores thinking about that three, will now reset with 21 on the shot clock. Trying to get this zone to move a little bit here. Good move in and out from Backus. Left hand can't finish. Offensive rebound Johnson. Johnson bounces and it's taken away. Good hands from Gardner. And double dribble. Possession's going to go back. And looks like we do have a question about the clock here. And yeah, I wondered if there was a point missing from the free throw line. So 16-18 is our score with 5:03 to play.
Good, they got that adjusted.
So this will be baseline out of bounds for Summit Academy here after the double dribble by Judge Memorial. Backus will look to send in. Goes right side to Johnson. Johnson pumps back to Backus. Left-hand dribble drive, little runner for 2. I think Judge might have got a piece of the ball there, Dusta.
Yeah, it definitely didn't get enough flight on it. Something definitely hung up.
Either a piece of the ball or just that well defended. Lopez, left-hand dribble in the lane, little runner for 2. Short, follows her own shot. Right-handed runner, no, but she's fouled. And Sequoia Lopez has earned herself a trip to the free throw line.
Brought a lot of good energy for the Bulldogs. She's attacking, and really helped them out. It's allowed Coach Pike to rest Daw and Anil Joke and not have to have them on the floor at the same time, as they've both taken some breaks here.
Highmarker falls short as Holmes is going to check in, replacing Johnson. Holmes again, 5 threes if you just joined us. She's got 15 of the 18 for Summit Academy.
As Judge has sat in that 2-3 zone, she's been able to find those little holes and get nice catch and shoot.
Rebound to Backus. Pushes it up ahead to Holmes, right side. Holmes dumps down inside to Flores, who's going to give to a cutting Backus, who finishes with the right hand. Summit now up 20-16.
Holmes moving up, caught 2 defenders looking at her, and that helped open that bottom up for him as she's drawing more attention.
Ball goes to Daw, top of the arc. Drives, sends to the corner to Gallardo. Left-hand dribble, crosses over, gets in the lane, draws a crowd, and we're going to get a foul call. They're going to say 2 shots on this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, there he went to the baseline. Yeah.
The foul was on number 2. Yeah. That was my
Yeah, and then there was an official that was with you. Saw the same thing that you saw.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's like there's no way that was a shot. So Going to have a high stack off that ball side junction. Take a look, see how they move off of it.
Pump fake from Doak. Wide open corner three from Gallardo. It's long. Rebound Backus. Transition opportunity now for Summit Academy. Gets it to Holmes on the left side. Quick trigger triple. Off the rim, no. Fight for the rebound comes down to Jazzy Zenner. Outlet and transition. Aneljoke traveled with it.
Took him a second, but that jump stop was not a jump stop. So they gave her another travel. Take a look here as Summit Academy comes down the floor, and Judge has changed their zone alignment. I think they're in the 1-2-2.
Yeah. Backus gives left side Holmes. Now back to Backus. Swings it over right side. A little bit of a fumble from Orem. She's going to dump it off to Georgerson. Georgerson loses the basketball and a turnover. Gallardo's now got it.
That 1-2-2 gives them a little bit more pressure out on the wings, so they may not lose Keita Holmes as much.
Ball goes left side to Daw. We'll think about the three. Right hand dribble. Gets in the paint, gives to Aneljoke. She'll left hand dribble. Now outside to Zenner. Little runner for two. Blocked from behind by Holmes. Holmes taps it. Zenner tiptoes that line and sends it back out to Gardner. She'll give to Daw, low block. Inside, takes it up, no, but is fouled. And if that's going to be on Holmes, that's going to be two on her.
Be interesting to see, but that was a nice job by Daw to keep pushing the issue, splitting the defense and getting down through, and that is her second. So here in the second quarter, she's even on fouls, which for me means she's got a minute left to play and then got to get her out of the game.
First shot is up and down for Daw, who shoots it at 57% on the year. As substitution now, Haley checks back in. One more here.
One possession game. It's been a fun one.
Free throws off, tap, tip, shoot, no, tip back out. Holmes just doesn't grab the basketball. It's out of bounds, and it'll be Summit Academy's possession.
Fortunate as Judge is just killing them on that offensive glass. They are really rebounding well.
Ball's going to come in here to Backus as Summit Academy's fouls now starting to add up as Judge shoots the rest of the way. Backus top of the arc, gives left side to Flores. Flores crosses over, gives to Holmes, three right side, buckets, wow. Keita Holmes with her sixth triple of the ball game.
Using a little handoff to get the space for her, and that the ball forces the defender low so she can slip behind the ball right there. And she was ready to knock it down from the left side.
Gallardo with a pretty left-hand runner. 23-19.
We've seen that today from her. She's got a good, nice skill set to get in there and get that soft touch in the air.
Ball goes in the corner. Backus is going to take the three. High arcer. It's off the front rim. Rebound to Gallardos. Gallardos will push. Gives it over right side to Gardner. Gardner pumps. Looks to pull it back out. Going to give back up top of the key now to Haley. Now down low to Doak. Doak turns, or Daw rather, turns, sends it back out to Gallardo. She'll get in the lane. That left-handed runner again, banks and scores.
Ball screen from Gardner makes that happen. Gardner slips over, gives her a good solid ball screen, and sends her right down the lane.
Ball goes left side to Flores. Now up top, right side, Orm. Orm's going to give to Holmes, and look how far out.
Well, that's coaches brought him higher to stretch that zone.
Three's no good from Orm. Coming the other way now is Gardner.
I'm curious to watch what happens next possession there as he's purposely stretching it that far. See if he tries to get something underneath it.
Ball goes off the rim, rebound to Gallardo. Another second chance opportunity for Judge. Ball high, gives over left side to Daw. Daw, they're giving her space. She tries to go down to Esther, and a blocking foul going to be called on Reagan Georgeson here.
You could see the Summit Academy defense starting to get further and further out of position right there, and as they made a nice pass, the only way she was going to stop her from a layup was to come through her, and that right there draws that foul. And that's a lot of times when you start letting up on your positioning, it'll either lead to a score or a foul because they're just out of position.
Esther Aneljoke at the line, connects on the first of two, 23-21, 59.7 left as Sierra Johnson checks in. Georgeson will sit with her third.
We're and we're under a minute here, and Holmes is still on the floor with her second, so see if she's able to stay out of trouble, or if hopefully she does not pick up a third foul.
And Aneljoke now makes it 23 apiece. Under a minute to go in this first half. Backus, right side dribble. Comes to her left hand, now right side to Flores. Flores will back out and reset. About a 24-second differential between shot and game clock. Backus, back to Flores. Crossover, gives in the corner to Backus. Backus looks to dribble drive, split the double, draws the foul. Are they going to count that? No, they say on the floor.
Yeah.
Which will be space line out of bounds. Definitely before the shot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No question.
But it was fun to watch it go in.
Yeah.
So we've got that zone. They're flattening out with 1-4 low. A little crossing action and kick her out, but no screen to seal it in. They guarded Holmes well on that.
Ball goes to Backus left side, or right side rather. 3 on the way from Flores. It's off the back rim. Rebound comes down to Daw as Gallardo comes across the timeline. Daw left side, she'll take the 3. It's no good. Offensive rebound, no box out. Aneljoke with a second opportunity and then gets the foul drawn, and we'll go back to the free throw line.
That's just been the name of the game here this whole second quarter, and that's what's allowed them to tie up and have a chance to take a lead, is offensive rebounding.
She'll shoot 2 free throws here.
So with 11 seconds, let's see if Judge tries to put any token type pressure on. I can't see Coach Pike making a call for one either. And then if you're Summit Academy, how do you get through that 1-2-2? That 1-2-2's caused them a lot of problems. They haven't figured out how they want to move against it.
Second one drops. Judge with their first lead since it was 2-0.
Holmes is headed to that right corner. She's got somebody picking her up.
Flores lets it dribble to midcourt. Clock now starts at 11 seconds. Screen high for Flores. Looks to attack, gives back to Backus. Backus thought about the 3 with 2 and with 1. Backus, the little runner at the horn. Nice play from Avery Backus as Summit Academy takes a 1-point lead into the locker room.
Backus' game, she understands time. She managed it very well and got herself into a really nice open runner there.
We'll take a break and be back with your halftime show next here on TeamHive.live with KSLSports.com and ETV.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
Live high school sports action on set.
Hi, I'm Barrett Hilton with TeamHive.live, where we've created a locally run video streaming platform for Utah schools. On our website, you're not going to wade through a bunch of unrelated content. You bring up TeamHive.live and you're just going to find a lot of high school sports and events. We've created tools that make it super easy for you to create events and stream to our site. And if you ever need help with anything, you can give me a call. So I want to invite your school to join the team. If you're a Utah high school, you can stream live on TeamHive. That's TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Okay. That's fine. I just want to make sure. Chevy 6.
Chevy Silverado. With available Super Cruise connected by OnStar, only Super Cruise lets you drive hands-free and tow hands-free. It'll help you get to the adventure energized, and it'll help drive you home. Drive yours away this President's Day. Get 2.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or get $5,000 total value on this Silverado High Country when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your Rocky Mountain Chevy dealers.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Hi, I'm Dustin Shakespeare, the Central Region Pathways Coordinator. Do you know what pathways are offered at your high school that connect with Snow College? Students enrolled in career technical education courses can develop valuable real-world technical skills and a strong academic foundation. Over 630 students completed CTE pathways last year in the Central Utah region. Our 35 pathways empower students to explore career options, pursue what they are passionate about, and earn valuable industry certifications. To learn more about these career pathways, talk to your CTE teachers and school counselors today.
My parents know nothing about gaming. I told them we needed Centricom Fiber because it's by far the fastest and most reliable internet speeds.
Hey bud, dinner's ready. Time to turn off the game box.
Alright, this round's almost over.
Are you or a loved one experiencing a mental health crisis? Let us help. Aspen Grove Behavioral Hospital offers no-cost mental health assessments, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You have a choice in your mental health care. Insist on Aspen Grove Behavioral Hospital for instant care. Call us today to speak with one of our highly trained mental health professionals. Call 801-852-2273 or for more information, visit aspengrovehospital.com.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
Are you a new CDL license holder? If so, Barney Trucking would like to train and pay you to become a world-class truck driver on state-of-the-art equipment. They also provide you with reliable, courteous support, a fantastic wage, paid holidays, solid benefits, home daily schedules, paid time off, an excellent safety record, and respect. Dependable truck drivers have been Barney Trucking's #1 investment since 1947. Start your outstanding career by applying today at barneyjobs.com. barneyjobs.com.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
For more than 3 decades, the Intermountain Power Project has served as a model of regional energy cooperation, generating and transmitting coal-fueled electricity to a diverse group of municipal utilities and rural electric cooperatives with operations across 6 U.S. states. Now Intermountain Power is expanding its role as a regional energy hub, including utilizing renewable energy resources. Intermountain Power is proud to support and invest in our central Utah communities. Visit ipautah.com to learn more about IPP Renewed.
Live high school sports action on Centricom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back on in. Halftime. A fun first half as Summit Academy leads Judge Memorial 25-24. Tanner Wilkinson, Dustin Shakespeare with you. What does the Bradfather stats tell us here, Dustin? A good story there in the first half.
The big ones we've talked a lot about, but it's always good to put numbers to it. 8-24 on the boards. Judge has 13 offensive rebounds to 11 defensive rebounds. It's very, very rare that a team has more offensive rebounds than they do defensive rebounds. And we've talked a lot about that in the broadcast. Is Judge has just really done an excellent job of getting in position and giving themselves multiple opportunities. Because of that, they've shot 30 field goal attempts, and Summit Academy's shot 22. So an extra 8 shots already produced just by that effort to that rebounding. And then the other piece of the game, and it's a common thread and story, is it's the 3-point line versus the inside game. Because the 3-point line's been good to Summit Academy, as they've got 6 threes made. They're 6 for 12, 50%. And Summit Academy, Judge has only got the 1 out of 8, but they've gotten to the free throw line 12 times to Summit Academy's only 2 times. So they've shot the ball really well from the free throw line, 7 for 12, able to just keep chipping away, and that's where they took that 1-point lead for just a second. And able to go there between their offensive rebounding and their free throws. So really doing a nice job that way. Turnovers, pretty balanced, 8 to 9, nothing too serious there. But the assists, of course, because of the catch and shoot threes, are high for Summit Academy with the 7. So
yeah,
you take a look at that piece and how that comes into play.
Going to be an interesting second half. What are you looking forward to adjustment-wise?
Well, I really want to see how Summit Academy moves to that 1-2-2. Coach Pike, he chose to go the 1-2-2 there. And it's really confounded the issue of Summit Academy. I've watched Coach trying to adjust how he wants to move. He's got a call, but he keeps asking him to lift a little higher and then get moving, and it's not happening. So see how at halftime they discuss how they want to attack that 1-2-2. It hasn't had to move a lot. It's done exactly what it needs to do. Sat somebody next to Katie Holmes, and the ball hasn't moved very well. The other side, it's been fun to watch the flex offense of Judge, because they've been able to get some different looks. The flex screen, it's only come open once, but because of the pin down, it's gotten them drives, it's got them jumpers, and it's also put them in offensive rebounding position. So fun to watch that flex offense for Judge work and see if Summit Academy makes a change, if it is bothering them, so that they can rebound again. There's somewhere that they've got, you can't get beat that bad on the boards. I mean, that's...
And somehow have
16.
a 1-point lead.
Yeah, and that's amazing.
That's wild.
So 16 fewer rebounds. I'm really curious to see the adjustments both teams make. And both teams, we just got the 1 in foul trouble, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Georgeson.
Georgeson had 3, had 2 from Holmes. And Judge really not having foul issues like you mentioned they had last night. So
I did see Summit Academy start to get winded there in the second quarter, so I'd be curious if that comes to play here, depending on the pace of the game. Judge has been putting some pressure on them in offensive transition. Haven't converted anything yet, but probably coming.
So it'll be on the left side. Backus with it. Looks to attack off the dribble.
Judge comes out in a man. We haven't seen him play much man.
Drive, crossover, runner for 2. Great take from Destiny Flores.
Good to see him getting downhill and getting something else.
Ball goes now back up top to Gardner. She'll call out the new play. Skip it over left side to Daw. Daw skips back to Aneljoke. She'll get to the 10 and finish. 26-27 now.
Great take from that right side. Got the catch. Made a pass fake, and then just downhill she went.
Flores with the right-hand dribble. Looks to come off that. Bounces high to Backus. She'll left-hand dribble, high screen from Holmes here.
And Judge is that 1 possession man. Now they're back in the 1-2-2.
Blocking foul up front on Dawes. Backus, a little floor burn there and hops back up.
And I think Summit Academy was still running a lot of their man action, and it looked a whole lot better than what they were running against the 1-2-2 earlier. See what they do with that.
Ball goes in right side to Georgeson. Now up top, Flores pumps on the 3, holds left side.
Looking for that corner. They weren't able to get the seal. Oh, miscommunication on that.
Had her wide open. Flores instead takes a step back triple. It's off the back rim. Backus goes and gets that offensive board. Trapped in the corner, and unfortunately, just before she steps on that end line, the official was going to call her out. The official near us, and Coach Archuleta gives him the timeout. We'll take it on TeamHive.live, ETV, and KSLSports.com.
Bark is an app that helps families manage every aspect of their children's digital lives. Worried about your 12-year-old stumbling upon something harmful or inappropriate? With Bark, you can block sites and apps. Bark runs in the background, scanning your child's digital activities, and sends you an alert if it detects something you need to know about. While there are lots of options out there, Bark's approach to online safety is one of a kind. You've got this, and Bark's got your back.
Get Bark protection today from Centricom on unlimited family devices. Visit Centricom.com to learn more.
Live high school sports action on Centricom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back on in. 6:45 to go, quarter number 3. Summit Academy 27, Judge Memorial 26. And it will be Bear basketball here. Baseline out of bounds. That was as close, Dustin, as I've seen. 2 whistles being blown at the same time, and the timeout gets granted to Coach Archuleta.
Yes, it was, bang, bang, and a good catch there. He's only got 3 timeouts left. See how that impacts the game here.
Another offensive rebound and possession off the Holmes miss, but it's a bad pass and turnover to Daw.
Made a better effort on the offensive side, rebounding. See if they can hold Judge to one and done here.
Daw just flips it behind her, ends up in the hands of Gardner. She misses the runner. Rebound comes down now to Georgeson.
She'll have 5 seconds to get up, but that's pretty easy for her.
Gets right in the lane, Euro step, and the harm. What a take from Avery Backus.
And she's come back alive. We saw her play like this in the first quarter, coming out into the third quarter, getting back to the rebounding, getting back to attacking and getting to the rim. Good adjustment coming out of half by Summit Academy, and that's been able to stretch them. They can go 2 possessions here if she can get one to fall.
Backus will get 1 free throw, finish it, so completes the 3-point play, 30-26, 6:10 to go in the third. Great spirit and energy here from Summit Academy. Over right side now, Daw with it. Will look to attack with the right-hand dribble, gets inside, floats for 2, no. Rebound comes down to Backus.
They've been able to stay in front of those penetrators and make it hard on them so far, and they're back to rebounding again.
In the corner, 3 from Flores off the back rim. Rebound going to come back down backside to Zenner, who's checked in. Zenner right side.
Judge is running a different zone offense, a bit of a wheel, 5-out wheel offense.
Corner 3, Gardner, no. Rebound tapped again, and out of bounds. It'll stay with Judge Memorial here, another second chance opportunity. Baseline out of bounds for Judge.
Stack it high, and a drop.
Ball goes in,
down through.
Gallardo. Owen Backus is going to get called for the foul. She's got her hands on her hips, so 2 shots here coming for Alicia Gallardo, 61% on the season.
On the ground, she had reached pretty far in there, but that foul wasn't called. She had walled up really well, as you saw in the replay. She wasn't too thrilled picking up her 3rd foul, but she's just got to play wise here down through the stretch of the 3rd quarter, not pick up a 4th.
1 more here for Gallardo. Free throw good, so she splits the pair, 30-27, back to a 1-possession game. 5:18 to go in the 3rd period. Summit Academy's led most of this game. It was 2-0, and then Judge took a brief 23-22 lead just before halftime. And ball's on the ground. Holmes, timeout.
Oh, my.
So that's 2 that Coach Archuleta's had to use here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, in the 3rd. So that's his 3rd use timeout, protecting possession there.
Down to 1.
He's got 2 left.
2 left.
2 left. So it'd be interesting to see, and I talked about it as that last one. Like, yeah, you've got 3 left. See how you choose to manage them. He likes to save possessions. That one he saves again here with 5 minutes left to go in the 3rd. That will have an impact here as a 1-possession game. As we watch Summit Academy, as they came down the floor, they used a 1-4 high that time, and they like to curl somebody down off the baseline, trying to shift that 1-2-2 and see if they can. It's not flattening it low. A lot of times you try to flatten a zone low with a 1-4 low. This time they're using a high, so seeing if they'll flatten high, and we've seen that work with that Katie Holmes catch and shoot. See if they try to come back to that. And then Baxis, I think that's going to be interesting to watch her play this next 5 minutes. and see if she's able to stay as aggressive. Because she came out the first 2 minutes on fire. She was getting stuff done.
I liked the pace that Summit Academy's played when they do get a defensive rebound, which I think proves even further how important that's going to be to get those defensive stops.
Yeah, it's going to be key on how they function. And on the Judge side, it'll be interesting to see. They keep driving hard here in the third quarter and putting pressure on the basket, drawing a couple fouls. See what they do that way to if they keep using that will action, that 5-out will action, or if they go back to their flex.
Holmes will inbound to Backus here. 5:04 to go in the third. Backus with the left hand gives to Holmes. 3, right side, a little bit short. Legs maybe starting to be a factor here. You're playing your second game. And Judge played last night late. Summit Academy not too much earlier than that. So, no, Backus very close to picking up that 4th foul.
She's got to recognize that reaching is not a good idea right now. Working in that man defense they've been in.
Ball over on the right side to Zenner. Now up top to Gallardo. She'll look to cross over, get inside, send it over. Right side Gardner gets in the paint, floats for 2. No, rebound tapped, and Backus with the rebound, and now will push.
And that's why she's got to be on the floor and active.
Euro step, left hand finish, right on cue for Avery Backus. Nearly gets the steal there. Gallardo gives it left side to Aneljac. She's going to hand left side to Zenner. Zenner with the left hand, picks up her dribble. Back to Daw. Daw with the right hand, lowers, turns, tries to get a shot off. They are going to call the foul.
Hey, Coach, he's been after him to quit swinging down on those, and they just can't quite keep themselves from doing it. It's a lot of times it looks like to me it's a little bit of a conditioning issue as much as it is anything. They kind of dive into it a little bit.
Free throw on the way and down for Daw. 38-28, 4:03 to go. And I like the conversation Coach Archuleta just had with the official. He says, I'm telling him not to swing down. Official had a good laugh about that.
That's right.
Both drop. So 32-29, Daw, a 57% shooter, goes 2 for 2. Backus will now bring it down for Summit Academy with under 4 to go here in the third quarter. Backus goes corner to Flores. She'll dribble it back up with the left hand. Now switch to her right. Crosses back middle. Draws a bit of a double. Backus thought about the 3. Now takes it. High arcer. It's short. Rebound to Daw.
She was back there behind that college line a ways.
There you go. Travel, Gardner. The ope was right as it'll go back to the Bears here.
That's right. See what they do. Last time they used a little crossing action underneath, lifting up into a 1-4 high, and then it just stalled as the 1-2-2 is continuing to cause Summit Academy some trouble.
Backus with the right-hand dribble here. 3:30 to go in the third quarter. Picks up her dribble, skips it over left side Flores. Flores will give now back to Backus. She'll pump with it. Trying to get the zone moving again. High screen. Backus now right side, aggressively pursued by Gallardo. Gets into the rim, throws up the shot, and draws a foul. So Avery Backus's ball handling gets her to the rim.
Well, and you watch what happened is Backus on here on the right side. Everybody's staying tucked in, staying disciplined, not overshooting. She swings around on the dribble for a ball reversal there. It kind of was forced after they overloaded, and it was a forced dribble to get some space. And then she got jumped, and when she got jumped right there, that sends a ball handler like her, and is so good with her left. Straight at the basket and to the free throw line. So as Judge looks, that's something they're going to be aware of. Backus isn't one that you can fly at. She will go by you.
Knocks down the first, 33-29, 3:11 to go. Now 34-29 after the second make.
Especially on the left side, because that's her strong hand.
Impressive. Summit Academy really relied on Keena Holmes in that first half to keep them ahead. It's been Backus here in this third quarter. Runner for 2, no. Fight for the rebound, and it comes down from Haley. Now back out. Gardner, runner, 2, in and out. Tapped, right to Haley. That one's no, and the rebound finally comes down inside to Sierra Johnson.
There wasn't a lot around the hoop there for Summit Academy. It took quite a while.
Flores, baseline jumper, good for 2. 36-29.
And I'm starting to say, I'm going to set Backus down for the rest of this quarter. You stretched it out to 7 points, and she's feeling it. She likes to go hard. You don't want to see her get her fourth.
And you see the assistant coach is saying, yeah, let's back this up just a little bit. You could still be in the backcourt, but hey, maybe let's not completely breathe down their necks here and risk picking up that fourth foul.
That aggressive plays really helped them stretch it as it's got them out, got them a few easier looks.
Gardner crosses the timeline. Gives it over right side to Gallardo. Left-hand dribble, looks to get in the lane. Good drive. Block from behind, a risky. To block from behind's risky, Dustin, but it pays off that time for Backus.
Yes, it did.
Avery with the left-hand dribble. Has it deflected by Daw. Daw throws it in, and it's picked up by Zenner. Good defensive play from McCall Daw.
Yeah, she jumps on loose balls very well. Gardner's got an open one.
Three's up, no. Good box out by Johnson. Put Daw on the floor as the outlet to Flores, and Flores was looking too far down court, didn't secure the basketball.
They are begging for a timeout. They're starting to wear down. And Summit Academy seems to have a little extra go in them. See how they move.
Ball's going to come in here to Gardner as she crosses the timeline now. Ball hands off to Zenner. Zenner pumps, gives right side to Daw. Daw, and timeout called by Coach Pike here. He's clearly, I mean,
they're tired.
They're tired. It's a game-high 7-point lead.
Yeah.
Biggest thing you're talking about in this huddle?
Well, first you got to get them down and get their legs recovered, and then he's got to have a conversation about how they're defending, because they're sending players at the hoop, and in transition they're not getting picked up, and so that's caused them some troubles. And then offensively, he's used a couple different sets, and they're just not on the same page right now. So how offensively as a team are they going to, what set do they want to use to get that action where they've got a little more rhythm? And Summit Academy has been able to use really the tempo to take them out of that offensive rhythm. Their tempo of speeding the game up a little bit is causing Judge some problems there in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it's been fascinating to watch, and Avery Backus has had the third quarter of her life doing everything for this Summit Academy team, blocking shots, grabbing rebounds, going coast to coast, good finishes and good passing as well.
And if it's me, she's on the bench right now. It's under 2 minutes in the third quarter. Ice her down. Al Joke's got her fourth. I didn't catch that, did you?
I did not.
So that's going to be big, and that's, we talked earlier, she has foul trouble issues, and fourth in the third is rough as that does change. Now, they played well early, rotating them back and forth. See if Judge can keep that up.
Zenner with the left-hand dribble in the lane. Tough shot for two from Gallardos. Well defended by Backus. Not in the risk of drawing a foul, but contesting well.
Yeah, doing a good job staying underneath those handoffs and staying in their way.
Flores, who just hit that baseline shot, gives back to Backus. Now right side, Holmes. Backus straight away, approaching a minute. Bounce pass. Holmes, quick trigger three, short. And that's going to go back to Summit Academy here. Kita just doesn't quite have the legs she had in that first half were she knocked down five threes? Yeah, five of them.
When they went out of the 2-3, then she hasn't had another one. Jenny Annel-Joke.
My apologies, 6 threes, yeah.
Jenny Annel-Joke coming in the game here.
Yeah.
We haven't seen her as she comes in here off the bench for Judge.
Just a sophomore. That's a long two, no. Fight for the rebound, out of bounds to Judge Memorial. And that, oh no, okay, they do say.
Communication there.
Yeah, okay. Pointing the wrong way, because yeah, that's clearly off Backus here. So baseline out of bounds for Zenner. As she'll look to pound the rock and send it in. Ball goes left side, now inside. Annel-Jock strong, gets her own rebound and draws a foul. So Jane Annel-Jock will go to the line here with 51 seconds left in the fourth. Who do they call this on? Oh, they call it on Backus.
I said it more than once. Can't have them. It's magical what happens under 2 minutes when you have the same amount as the quarter.
It's never good.
You get another one. I don't know why that's the rule of basketball, but it just happens too often.
Free throw coming up. Short as Orm's going to check in. And she's going to replace Avery here for the final 51.4.
man, she's a fun player to watch.
Yeah.
So active, reads the ball extremely well. And with that being left-handed, it's nice because people just aren't comfortable guarding lefties.
Especially if you're good with your right as well, and she is.
That's true, yes.
Yeah, ball never hit rim, so it'll be baseline out of bounds here for Summit Academy. 51.4 to go here in the third. We'll see how long Backus sits at the beginning of the fourth quarter as well. I'd imagine at least a little bit, a couple minutes, if not longer.
It'd be interesting to see how they manage that. A couple different ways you can go about it.
Holmes hands it off. Flores comes off the high screen, gives it over right side. Orm now back to Flores. 16-second differential between shot and game clock. Game high 7-point lead. Holmes from the NBA line. That's no good. And the rebound fought for, and an offensive board by Johnson. Georgeson with it. Gives it back to Holmes. She'll skip it over Flores. They can hold for one shot.
Yep. Yeah, he's trying to get him out. I was wondering if they were going to catch it. You saw it. Coach was getting it to him.
Flores
out.
Bounce to Georgeson. And yeah, 7-point lead. Your best player just picked up her fourth. Hold for one shot.
Absolutely, yes.
Flores.
End this quarter and get out of it.
3 with 2. Holmes hoists the 3. It's short again. And that's going to end quarter number 3.
Good timeout call by Coach Pike. That slowed the scoring of Summit Academy, got his girls rested so they could be ready to compete here in the fourth quarter.
We'll take a break and be back. Summit Academy 36, Judge 29 on TeamHive.live.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
Hi, I'm Barrett Hilton with TeamHive.live, where we've created a locally run video streaming platform for Utah schools. On our website, you're not going to wade through a bunch of unrelated content. You bring up TeamHive.live and you're just going to find a lot of high school sports and events. We've created tools that make it super easy for you to create events and stream to our site. And if you ever need help with anything, you can give me a call. So I want to invite your school to join the team. If you're a Utah high school, you can stream live on TeamHive. That's TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Live high school sports action on Centricom Channel 10 and the Mid-Utah Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back on in. Final 8 minutes here of this ball game. Game high 7-point lead for Summit Academy. I think, Dustin, any coach will be happy when your game high lead is in the fourth quarter. It means you're doing something right. And
right.
Summit Academy's done a lot right in this game tonight.
That was a great third quarter. We talked about coming out of half, the adjustments that they needed to have, and they were able to really get themselves going. And one of those keys is Backus, and she's on the bench here with 8 minutes left to go. Some coaches are very aggressive and will put somebody in with 4 fouls right here within a minute. Others, they'll hang back and watch the possession count, and if they stay up that 3 possessions, then a lot of times they'll let it play out.
Block shot out of bounds. Terrific play inside from Reagan Georgeson. She's done a good job staying out of foul trouble after she had 3 early.
If you're Judge, you've got to find ways to get those offensive rebounds and get cleaner putbacks.
Ball goes inside to Daw, pumps. Trying to get it in. No. Fight for the rebound. Out of bounds. It will stay with Judge as Coach Archuleta's asking for 3 seconds.
So an interesting thing, and I don't know that it applied necessarily on that one, but the 3-second goes away if the player's making a play on the basket.
Yeah.
That's a misunderstood piece of about 3 seconds. It's not just being in the key. If they're making a play at the basket, it goes away.
3-point shot is long and a fight for it inside. Getting on the ground is Holmes and Dawn. We'll get a tie-up. Possession is going to go to Summit Academy here.
That was a big half possession by tying that up because she was right next to the basket, where a lot of times you see Daw be able to make that shot if she's able to pull that one up.
They had not switched the clock back, and now, or the scoreboard, possession arrow back, and now they've got it all right. So 36-29, 7:25 left here in the ball game. It's been a minute since Judge put up points. Corner 3 from Orm is good. The freshman, Sydney Orm, ice water in her veins.
Stretching that to 4 or 5 possessions is huge in this game, and it protects back just a little longer.
Baseline jumper good. A good answer from McKenna Gardner. They needed that.
You see Gardner, she gets it. She doesn't always assert herself like she should, and in that situation, she knew she had to. Like to see her understand to do that a little more.
Holmes, right wing three. That's short. Rebound comes down inside to Gallardo. She'll bring it up the right side, 39-31. 6:42 left in the ball game. Right side, Gardner gets baseline. 15-foot J, in and out. Rebound, good box out by Destiny Flores.
We've talked a lot about Baxis being on the bench. Aneljoke's been on the bench forever with that fourth foul. You wonder how long Coach Pike can leave her out, especially as Katie Holmes knocks down that three right there, stretches this out to 11 points.
Jumped a little higher on that one. She knew her last few had been short, put a little more oomph, nothing but the bottom of the net. 11-point lead now is Gardner's little floater. You said she did that a bit last night.
And it's so pretty. She got a great ball screen from her teammate right there and able to get downhill. And that's where I talked about. Gardner's got to recognize that. She's a scorer. Great screen by Hallie, though.
42-33. Three-point shot on the way, strong that time from Flores. And Gallardo will head back the other way.
Just slipped in the hole of that zone, trying to knock one down.
Ball up top here for Zenner as Backus is now coming in off the bench. So 5:41 to go. Right side, McKenna Gardner crosses, pump fakes, gives it back up top to Haley. Now left side, Gallardo. She'll step into a left wing three, and that's good. Big three-point make.
Nice little dribble into a rhythm. The defense didn't move with her. She just kind of took a nice little couple dribbles, got herself in a rhythm, and knocked that down.
Top of the key here is Gardner. They skip it high for Holmes. She cannot get it out of bounds. So Judge getting a few stops.
I think Judge went to a 1-3-1. I need to watch one more possession to be sure because it's got a little flex to it. But I think the last two possessions, that's what's happened.
First time in the game for Nevaeh Uri has checked in. Curry without a seat. As Gardner brings it left side, 6-point game. It's been as high as 11 here in this fourth quarter. Gardner gets it deflected inside, throws up the shot. No, Holmes with a nice board for the Bears.
The Bears have done a good job here in the second half of holding them to one-ish and done, not 3 or 4.
Backus finds Flores. She'll pump, get in the lane, blocked, and it comes back down to Gardner. Transition opportunity for Judge. Oh, killer cross, and an even better block shot by Georgeson as Coach Archuleta pumping his fist like he's Tiger Woods on Masters Sunday.
I like what Georgeson did right there as Baxis takes the dive, kind of a token defense. She was timing and watching and seeing the offensive player coming led to that nice block.
So it'll be baseline.
A lot of conversation right here. Aneljoke not engaged, talking to Coach Pike. There they go, they got it inbounds.
Aneljoke with it. Looks to attack off the dribble, gets in the lane, blocked again. It is a block party. And Reagan Georgeson's the only one that's been invited, my goodness.
That's 2 big-time blocks. They've got to get the ball back in their hands, but that's a great way to help the momentum stay your way because they've got the momentum.
42-36, 4:28 to go, 21 on the shot clock. Gallardo for 3, off the back rim, rebound to Johnson. And Backus goes and gets it here.
And she's got to recognize that and go get that a little earlier.
Yeah.
There's no reason she's not going and getting the ball in her hands anytime that her teammate catches it on that end.
Holmes right side, sends corner Johnson. Sierra with it, skips it back up top to Flores. Guarded high and tight by Gallardo. Left side now, Backus. 12 on the shot clock midway through this fourth period.
They're working the shot clock all the way down. A little early to start taking rough shots.
Holmes has it blocked, and then, oh boy, a foul on the baseline. Backus fouled by Gardner.
And that time, hey, taking that time off, milked it down. Lucky with that foul because that saved him and gave him a whole new clock. See how Coach wants to manage this one.
What'd you say yesterday? Effort often brings good luck.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It happened again. Happened again.
I haven't forgotten it. Backus to trigger, sends it in. Flores, new shot clock here with the foul as it goes right side to Georgeson. Now back up top to Flores. 3 on the way from Holmes, off the front rim. Rebound comes down to Daw.
kind of rocked him to sleep, and she lifted up here on this right wing. Another nice catch and shoot opportunity developed.
Screen high. Gardner gives up top to Uri. Now the drive into Aneljoc. She'll take it up for 2. Strong fight for the board. Doc falls. We're going to call a foul inside on Sierra Johnson. Ooh.
From here, it was really interesting to watch that, as it looked like she, there's a lot of swiping, but it looked like she really did a good job of keeping her hand on the ball.
Well, it's interesting they called a blocking foul. I would have thought a reach was maybe
be
what it
better.
was. Yeah,
that's
I think
fair.
that was the more confusing thing for me. But
yeah, well, it was. Anyway, here we go.
Anyway.
We got a baseline out of bounds right here. 3 down, 1 up.
Uri sends it in the corner to Gardner. Right-hand dribble comes off that screen.
Man defense for Summit Academy. He's really done a nice job staying in front of Judge the majority of the game.
Uri, right side.
Back into flex.
Looks to drive it. Blocked from behind by Holmes. She saves it. Gardner goes and gets it. Runner for 2 in the lane. Strong. Offensive rebound, your Uri. And another opportunity for Judge. Daw gets inside, spins, turns, shoots. Pretty move from Ackle Daw, and a timeout to Coach Pike. We're keeping it here, Dustin. I know you want to keep it here, so let's talk what's being discussed here in these huddles.
He's got to set up his defense right here. And Coach, that's his second timeout, so he's got 3 left with 3 minutes left to go, and it's a 3-possession game. So he's in a situation where he can set his pressure up, and he's got a couple different presses he likes. We saw the 1-2-2 early in the game. See if he comes back to that one, or if he goes into a 2-2-1 or a full court. But I would expect some pressure high and see if they can turn them over. And he knew to get his girls the way that they operate, to get them in any type of pressure situation, he needed to use a timeout, and it didn't hurt to stop the clock.
2:45 left here in the fourth, 42-38, so the lead's down to 4. Here, Summit Academy has led almost the entire game. There was a brief 2-0 lead before Keita Holmes' first 3, and then it was I want to say it was 24-23 for Judge right before the half, before Backus scored at the horn. So,
and they are going to come back, it looks like, into, man, they're going to bring it all the way back. So no pressure. So he just used it to rest and stop the clock. And we've watched Coach Pike through the years. He knows when to rest his girls. He watches their effort, and he does a good job there. So it looks like they're going to go 2-3. And that's where Holmes got her 3s from.
3 on the way. High arcer almost goes down for Flores. Rebound inside.
Having Dawn and Aneljoc back on the floor together, hard to get much of an offensive rebound with them on the floor. And Uri's come in and really rebounded well. Oh, flex screen.
Beautifully done. The left-hand finish from Akal Daw, and that makes it 42-40, 2:07 left.
I like Coach Pike going back to that flex, as they seem to move in that cleaner. It provides more screening opportunities, and that flex screen came wide open right there, as they didn't come off of it defensively.
Backus comes off the high screen, looks to attack, hesitation, floater for 2, strong, offensive rebound inside. Block shot, and it goes the other way now. Aneljoc with Holmes. No, but a foul. So Aneljoc goes to the line with 1:40 to go. Believe that's 3 on Keita Holmes, if I remember correctly.
I think that's about where it's at. And she was at least able to keep the layup off. Aneljoc, though, shot it well in the first half. 4 for 6 from the line. Let's see how she does right here. As I like the head of steam. It's good awareness, under 2 minutes. Get down the floor and give yourself a chance.
Connects on the first, 42-41, as Orm is going to check in, replacing Sierra Johnson here.
Jump shot from the free throw line, her feet kind of kick. She's been effective with it.
One more to tie it. And Summit led by as many as 11 here in this fourth quarter, and we're now tied at 42. 1:40 to play. Here in this consolation bracket matchup, winner moves on tomorrow to take on Canyon View.
You saw Summit Academy at 4 minutes start taking the shot clock down lower, and that changed the momentum of this game.
Backus goes right side to Flores. Now Backus looks to attack, spins, in the lane. Right-hand floater blocked. She ends up on the ground, and it'll go the other way.
They've been able to contest the shots of Summit Academy the last minute really well there, and then come back down.
Up top, goes right side. Now inside, the turn, no. Out of bounds, stays as a good job staying vertical inside that time by Orm.
Yeah, and Flores was right at the side of her. They did an excellent job not bringing the hands down, as Coach had talked about a little earlier. Now we got a little different look. Oh, they do step in. They've got that stack. A lot of times that third on the stack is open. Yep, they try to throw it to her.
Anelzak scores it to perfection. 53 seconds remaining.
Good call by Coach Pike. He'd been saving that one for when he had to have a basket, and that gives him the second lead of the day.
Third
Okay.
lead, 42-44 now, a 1-point lead. Holmes sends it into Backus. Backus up top, steps back with it, spins, sends to the corner. Three-point shot is on the way. It's strong. Box out, tip to Holmes. Back up top, one other possession here for
Flores
Summit.
makes that happen. That was a heck of a tip out to Holmes.
Timeout to Coach Archuleta.
23 seconds left to go. One timeout. Good use of the timeout to get settled in, knowing you've got to get a bucket. So what's your best action? And then on the other side, if I'm Coach Pike, it looks like to me, so they went back into it's a 2-3, but they used the middle to run like a baseline runner on the 1-3-1, which is a different look. But it's done a pretty nice job allowing them to stay close to Holmes, not lose her. And so then Summit Academy has shot a few threes in that left corner. That's where they've been developing from. And you watch the middle, it usually has ended up over here on the right side, and they haven't been able to recover to that left corner. So the left corner's been open. See if they can slip Holmes into that. Now, I know they're obviously aware of her, but see if they can get there, bring the ball over, hit this corner, lift, skip to that. Might give them a wide open three, but then you've got Baxter on the left side on a drive. She can do it. Flores handles it, drives. But defensively, I'm curious. The 1-2-2 took away the threes, but it didn't move well on the bottom. This hybrid 2-3 has moved. It's been a good adjustment.
Yeah.
Coach Pike's made some great adjustments here in the fourth quarter, obviously, with a 2-point lead.
Yeah, and they were down 11 early in the fourth, and a rally really went.
And a slow-scoring game. To come back from 11 didn't seem like that was going to be possible.
Keep in mind, Anelzak with four fouls, but ever since she and Daw have been back on the floor, that's been the difference in this game.
So they are out.
Looks almost like a 1-2-2 matchup type situation here.
Yeah, it does.
Backus with 16.
Holmes. Now she's lifted. She's coming in behind.
Holmes, three, buckets.
You could see that developing. That was fun. Coach calls his last time out, and I don't know who they're going to give it to. Coach Pike out, Coach Pike or Summit Academy, because they both called it. They're going to give it to Pike.
7
is good for Summit Academy. That allowed them to keep a timeout. And then they wanted to get who in the game right there? Tanner Johnson.
It was Johnson, yeah.
She's been playing good on the ball. Her ball pressure is under control. She sits down very, very well. But what I liked about that action right there is you could see Holmes coming around, moving without the ball, and you got enough penetration that the kick out was going to be available. And as you heard me call it, you could see the pressure coming in, sucking the zone in, and that was going to give her a shot. So excellent movement without the ball. If you want to be a shooter, that's what you got to do.
We've seen some hot shooting performances at this tournament already. You mentioned Hallie Janes yesterday with the 7 threes. I think that's the 8th three of the game for Holmes.
She was counting. She needed to step up over Hallie Janes.
That's right.
So let another one. I think the stat we read, since you are an NBA guy, I do get a few stats sent to me, but Steph Curry's had, was it 5 games with 9 threes? Or something like that.
I know the one you're talking about. It's a wild stat.
It's a lot of threes. But Holmes right there trying to touch base with it, hitting her 8th. But I love her circling it. And then what Bax is kicking out to her where she didn't have to reach for it. Catch and shoot, knowing the time was tight. Because they were trying to watch her, but you could see them lose track of her. Now we're gonna go full court pressure, but good. They could get off the ball.
Yeah.
Generally, you don't with a lead put somebody on the ball, so they bring her back in a rover situation.
Yeah.
They're sitting high, more of a token. So initially they started in a little bit of a denial, but he's got them adjusted. Leave him on top so they can cause a zigzag.
Gallardo loses the basketball. Backus deflects it. Anelzak's got it with 2, and the timeout.
So now Summit Academy has fouls to give. And so I don't know that they recognize that, because I would have liked to see a foul up a little higher right there. And now with 1.2, good timeout by Coach Pike, because on the sideline you can do all sorts of things with the second. But now with it, it's hard to foul with the second because they have to be shooting.
Yes.
You do have a dribble.
It's a risk, yeah.
But the risk is pretty high to put them on the line, so you can't use your fouls. But if you use those with 2 and 3 seconds to reset them, you can get something. It was interesting watching that pressure had sent them on the run, and you almost wondered if they got too high, but the bobbles helped them out.
Yeah, going to be an interesting final 1.2. They do leave it at 1.2, no adjustment. I should say in between that last timeout, they added about 0.7 of a second to it. They're not going to add anything here.
A lot of conversations about keeping hands high and staying up in front. I'm curious, I don't remember if it was judged yesterday. We watched a lot of ball, but there was an ISO play for a catch, and it seems like it might have been an joke that they may have from the sideline. Look to see if they try to ISO her and spread out the defense. Now, do you recognize if you're Summit Academy, you have, if you get caught chasing high, yep, there's the ISO.
2.9. They put 2.9
right
on the
there.
clock, too.
Oh, that's a big, so now you can use a foul. That's a big change. You can use a foul, but that ISO that they're having, and Coach hasn't seen it yet. He's talking class. But Flores saw it, so Flores comes there. So Flores is doing a good job adjusting without Coach, and he's going to call a timeout. But very interesting, late timeout. That's terrible on both coaches to add that time that hard, because you've been operating under a whole different premise.
During the timeout, yeah.
You've got 2.5, 3 dribbles before you have to shoot now, so what your action is very different. On the other side, you've got fouls to give if you're Summit Academy. Now use them. As soon as they go to dribble, don't do it when they're lifting. So if you see the head come down, get your foul, reset them, bring that clock down to make it a little harder. But what I was going to when we were headed to the sideline is defensively, chasing out and away, your percentages are, it's not what you want to do.
Right.
You've got to be aware and be able to pick up inside that college 3-point line. So then that way you can test, get long on it. And so using a chase method, which is what they were looking at, was going into trouble. But I like what Flores had done, had stuck in there. Coach Pike, if I'm here, I look at that still. See if I can get that ISO if they're not going to go in. Now it looks like they are going to drop in much better this time, bring a couple players down inside. So they do go to a full stack. So they're going to loop somebody at the basket. It's traditional stack action. Coach is adjusting. He's going to send one out.
So glad you and I got this game. The strategy's been fun to follow along. Inbound goes up high for Anneljak, and she loses it. The game is over, and Summit Academy, after losing twice in the regular season to Judge Memorial, gets their revenge.
Look at that excitement. A lot of fun right there, and great adjustments to be able to stretch that out. But the ball movement at the end for the threes carried them home. That was a fun ball game.
Fun one to call with you, my friend. As now we get the matchup of this. It's 7 and 8 for 6th place. Canyon View and Summit Academy, the 2 lower seeds, winning and advancing this morning into the afternoon portion of the day. It was that's going to be a fun one tomorrow. 2 teams that said, hey, we might be out of 1st place, but we certainly want both the effort of both those teams today impressed me, and that's going to be fun to see tomorrow.
Yeah, it will be a good ball game, and well done by Summit Academy to clean that up. Man, giving up that 11-point lead was looking ugly, but they were able to capitalize and hold on to it.
How about Keita Holmes?
Oh my gosh, 8 threes in a ball game, and though that last one, that was a tough shot. It was a little tighter, but
yeah,
she spent some time on it, and I don't like a hop into a shot very much, but you can see in her situation she's practiced it well, and her teammates get her the catch in the right spots, and she was effective with it.
Absolutely. Going to have Manti and American Heritage coming up next. Let's get quick final numbers here. Let's see, at half, 8 turnovers. They ended with 16, so that number stays the same. The rebounding in the second half, 14-16. Summit wins the rebounding battle in the second half.
And that gives them the win. Had they not done that, they don't win that game. So excellent job coming out of half, reinvigorated on, we have to get the ball.
Yeah. Some final numbers. Flores, 8 assists. Backus finishes with 12 points, 6 boards, 3 steals. 24 from Keita Holmes, 8 made three-pointers, just phenomenal.
And Flores feeding her the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's well done by Flores to get that to her so well.
Final numbers from the Bulldogs. Gallardo finishes with 15 and 6, 12, 8 and 3 from Aneljak, 8 from Gardner. And the Bulldogs will be heading back to Salt Lake City as their season comes to a close. Josh Pike always does a great job with those girls.
He does. Even that last play was nice.
Yeah.
Just using a stack, and it was a different look of an isolation, using the length. He gave him a decent chance right there. He does a good job with the Bulldogs.
Appreciate you, my friend. That was a fun one to call. A lot of strategy being talked. That was a Dustin Shakespeare-built broadcast. That was just
fun.
For you, my friend. We'll take a quick break here on Team Hive. We'll be doing the simulcast with Manti coming up next. You've been watching and listening to high school playoff basketball on TeamHive.live, ETV, and KSLSports.com.